Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day this morning is. You know, I really think there may have been some unicorns in my yard last night because when I looked out the front door this morning, I always open my front door and I go out on the front stoop and I look around. And you can sometimes tell if there's been a unicorn through at night because you'll see sparkle. Sometimes it looks like the grass is just wet and sparkly. Sometimes the dew comes. When you look real close, if it really sparkles beautifully, there's been unicorns through. Sometimes you can look up at the leaves in the tree and you see sparkles. And yep, it's a sure sign. So this morning, here I am. It is a beautiful day, the most beautiful day. But every day is the most beautiful day, and they start out beautiful, and they just get even more beautiful. Okay, where we left off yesterday, in reading, we were right up here to the A to Z of unicorns. So that's where we're going to start today with our book. Look at those beautiful unicorns. Aren't they just beautiful? They just look so magical and they look so happy. That is good. A. A is for ancient. Unicorns have been galloping around the earth for thousands of years and were long before humans. B. B is for blessing, a collective name for a group of unicorns. So if you see a group of unicorns, you know it's a blessing. If you see a group of dogs, we call that a pack. If you see a group of cows, we call it a herd. But a group of unicorns is called a blessing. C is for coats. Each unicorn family has a different type of coat. Some shimmer in the moonlight and others glow in the sunshine. D is for dreams. Some unicorns have power to control human dreams. They can give the dreamer visions of the future. Whoa, that's amazing. E is for the elements. Storm chaser unicorns have magical control over lightning, thunder, rain, and sunshine. I bet they hang around with Mother Nature. F is for friendship. Bonding with unicorns is rare, but if you do, you'll be friends for life. G is for graceful. Beautiful to watch unicorns move with skill and care. H is for horns. Unicorns' horns are made of precious materials such as coral, opal, and silver. Many unicorns have horns that glow. I is for invisible. Unicorns are shy creatures who can become invisible when they don't want to be seen. J is for justice. Unicorns are fair, kind, and respectful creatures. K is for kinship. Family is very important to unicorns. They are incredibly loyal to their magical brothers and sisters. L is for legends. Unicorns have appeared through history and are subject of many myths and legends. M is for magic. All unicorns have magical powers. Some can fly and others are incredibly strong. N is for night. Unicorns often use the cloak of darkness to move around freely. Shadow nights only exist after dark. O is for omen. Some people believe that seeing a unicorn is an omen or a clue to what might happen in the future. P is for plants. Unicorns are vegetarians. They eat plants and red algae and winky woos. Winky woos. Q is for quick. Unicorns are quick-witted, fleet of snow. No, let me do that over. Q is for quick. Unicorns are quick-witted, fleet of foot, and quick to help. R is for royalty. Because of their dignified and proud personalities, unicorns are often used as symbols of royalty. S is for song. Legend is it that the shy woodland flower unicorns can be summoned by song. Oh, so maybe we can sing out in the wilderness and maybe a unicorn will come. T is for telepathic. Some unicorn species can talk to each other and to humans using only their minds. U is for unique. There are no magical creatures quite as the unicorn. V is for victory. In many legends, unicorns are the good force that conquers evil. W is for wisdom. Unicorns are wise animals, and each family passes knowledge down through the generations. X is for X hoofprints. X is the shape of the shadow knight's hoof makes on the ground. Oh, that's good to know. So if you see a footprint in the shape of an X, you'll know that that's the shadow knight unicorn. Y is for youngling. This is the name given to a baby unicorn, a youngling. Z is for zen, the feeling of calm felt when someone has encountered a unicorn. And look at these two unicorns. Look at that. They can almost hide in the there's two of them. But see, when you see all the wilderness around them, you see how they blend right in, how they can camouflage themselves. We read that. You have to really look for those two unicorns in this picture. We're going to read about the woodland flowers unicorns. The Chateau de Temps was once a beautiful castle, home to a kind-hearted dynasty of medieval kings and queens. It stood on a French hillside surrounded by a deep forest. Its towers were tall and magnificent. Colorful banners adorned its walls, and the beautiful flowers grew in the gardens. Look at that, how pretty. There's a squirrel in a tree. There's a porcupine. There's some little fox. And look at the bird flying in the air. Then one day, a cold, cruel, and mean-spirited man named Dagobert, we heard about him before, came to the throne. He treated neighboring kingdoms with contempt. War ravaged the land, and the chateau was brought to its knees. The Chateau de Temps became a dark shadow of its former self, squatting on the hillside like a poisonous toad. One day the local people, who were regularly forced to entertain the king, put on a play about the enchanted forest that surrounded the chateau. It told of a magical tree with golden leaves that grew in the depths of the woods. Great power and long life was promised to anyone who picked these leaves. Dagobert, seized by desire, set out the next day in search of the tree. He took with him his trusted service, Antoine, a brave and quite kind young man who was forced to withstand many cruel words and deeds from his master. Antoine had played in the forest as a boy and knew it and its creatures well. He warned the king of the dangerous enchantments that befell anyone who strayed too far inside, but his warning fell on deaf ears. As night drew on, Antoine pitched a tent for the king, and they settled down to sleep. But their slumbers were troubled by strange animal noises and a restless breeze that made it sound like the trees were whispering to each other. For several days they continued on their quest. When their provisions grew low, Dagobert announced he would hunt for more food. Antoine begged him not to kill any living creature in the forest and instead survive on the plentiful nuts and berries that could be found there. But the king ignored him. Dagobert loved hunting. Soon he was very excited to find himself on the trail of some mysterious heart-shaped footprints. Heart-shaped footprints. The tracks led to a clearing in the forest, where Dagobert came across a beautiful creature. It was shaped like a horse, and bigger and more graceful. Its coat was deep brown and velvety. It had a single twisted horn that protruded proudly from his forehead, and its name was laced. His mane was laced with wild flowers. It was a unicorn. Dagobert imagined how impressive its head would look, hanging above a fireplace. Don't like that. Raising his bow, he took aim. Just as he was about to let the string loose, Dagobert felt an urgent hand on his arm. "Stop, I beg you." "Sir," Antoine gasped, "it's a magical creature." "Treachery," Dagobert spat, determined to punish Antoine's impertinence. But something made him stop. The unicorn was looking at him with them deep brown eyes. Something strange was in the air. Magic. There was a chattering, chirping, and squawking all around them. Dagobert and Antoine became aware of a multitude of eyes watching them. Squirrels, foxes, birds, mice, and deer. The air chilled and the sky turned dark. Suddenly the unicorn spoke. "Beware of the golden tree," it warned. Then quickly as they appeared, the unicorn and all the other animals melted back into the forest. "Heed this warning, sir. That was a woodland flower unicorn." Anyone implored, but Antoine implored, but Dagobert just smiled. The unicorn and its strange magic only proved to him how desirable the leaves from the golden tree must be. They spent the next day searching and entered a more promising area of the forest. Magic hung heavily in the air, and the forest floor teemed with insects as bright as jewels. The trees seemed to sway and bow in greetings, just as the sun rose on the seventh day. Dagobert saw a glint of gold. On a clearing ahead, the magic tree stood in front of him, dazzling the morning light. Dagobert reached out and plucked a heavy golden leaf. As he did this, there was a deep sigh from the tree's branches, and Dagobert felt magic seep from the leaf into his bones. He felt powerful, wise, and immortal. However, as a malevolent grin spread across his face, Dagobert didn't notice the delicate roots that had begun to sprout from his feet. His arms and legs grew stiff and rough to the touch. His hair turned green and unfurled like a plant, stretching out after winter. By the time that Dagobert realized what was happening, it was too late. He was rooted to the spot. Antoine watched as the king was transformed into a tree before his eyes. He reached out and felt what had been Dagbert's arm, but it was coarse and scratchy under his fingertips. From somewhere deep inside the new tree, he heard a low groan. But the noise was quickly lost in the breeze. Antoine fled, running until he collapsed. When he woke, the woodland flower unicorn stood over him once more. It nudged him with his nose, as if to offer him a ride. After a day's journey, they reached the forest edge. and the gates of the Chateau de Temps. A crowd had gathered expecting the king's return, but they saw that Antoine was alone, riding the magnificent unicorn. When Antoine explained what had happened, the people gasped. They knew the dangers of attempting to steal golden leaves from the enchanted forest, and that, like many others before him, Dagobert would be trapped there for thousands of years. The woodland flower unicorn, beloved, bowed its head. Take these flowers from my mane and restore the chateau to what it once was. It commanded. An old woman stepped forward from the crowd. She took the flowers, twisted the stems into a coronet, and placed it on Antoine's head. The loyal servant became king, and the people cheered. Now here's the lore of woodland flowers. Their unique quality is woodland flowers are gentle, kind, and have a deep affinity with other animals. Their horns, they are curled horns. Their curled horns have a gnarled antler-like texture. Their appearance, they have brown velvety coats, and their manes bejeweled with wild flowers. Their habitat, they can be found deep within the wildest woodlands and forests. Their magic, they have telepath, telepath, telepathy. I'm sorry. Flowers in their manes have restorative powers. They can influence the weather. Woodland flowers represent justice and fidelity. They are also associated with royalty. So that's what we're reading today. Now, the next reading, I will carry on with the brief history of unicorns, and then we'll go how to communicate with unicorns. So that's going to be the next reading session. And so we don't want to go too quickly. This shows my marker is about halfway through the book. So we still have just that much more to go, but I'm excited to wait until the next reading so I can learn more and more about the unicorns. I am so enjoying this, and I hope you all are enjoying it along with me. Thank you. God bless.